What's good? What's good? What's good? All right. So the question of the day is, what does it take to make $2,000 in a week by driving on Lyft? Now, if you calculate the drivable hours on Lyft with your only taking 6 hour breaks between a 12-hour shift online, then the total hours is, I think it's about 120. So you would need to be online about 120 hours. Online again, 120 hours. And out of those 120 hours, the likely chances of you being booked the whole 120 is slim to none. Okay, so the goal would actually be 80 hours out of the 120 would be your booked hours. So you want to make it your goal to have 80 booked hours. That's the goal. So you take $2,000 and you divide that by 80. It's $25 an hour. You need to be making $25 an hour, 12 hours a day on Lyft in order to be making, so you can be making $2,000. Now, you also have to look at the fact of gas. Like in my case, it's $45 a day. That's $315 a week. So I need to be making at least $2,315 in order for me to hit that $2,000 goal after my cost of gas. Okay, so again, the goal would be out of the 120 hours to be able to accomplish having 80 hours of booked hours. The time passengers are in the car you're driving to their drop-off location. Do not, and I tell you right now, do not be concerned about ride challenges. You will sit there and you will chase those ride challenges, and you will end up accepting trips that will not allow you to hit that mark. And so at the end of the week, you may not even hit the ride challenge, and then on top of that, you will not hit your weekly goal. So you need to make sure that your focus is you hitting that 2,000, not worried about the ride challenges and everything like that. Making sure that you're in the bonus areas, it's gonna also help. You need to know where you're going, as far as whether the passenger is traveling east, west, north, or south. So I always recommend, if you don't know your market that well and you don't know the streets and everything, the best thing for you to do is to stop your ride request after you accept the ride request. Stop your ride request, and then that way when you finish that ride, you can tell whether the next passenger is going east, west, north, or south. All right, so if you know that all the bonuses usually are happening within the first 5 miles of the downtown area during certain parts of the day, then you want to be in that area, and you don't want to accept ride requests that are going, 10 miles away. You're going to have to go 5 miles back towards the bonus area, or you're just going to have to sit and wait until you have a passenger that's being dropped off going back east or west or wherever you're at. But again, like I said, the goal being 2,000 in a week after the cost of gas, you're looking at being online 80 hours as far as booked hours go. So you want to look at the $2,000 a week, and you want to divide that by the 80, and that's where you need to be making $25 an hour. Now, is any driver going to be online 12 hours straight and be giving rides? No, you're going to get sleepy at some point, which you should be taking a nap. Find a Walmart, a Myers or something or whatnot, set your alarm clock, and you don't put your seat all the way back. You want to recline it back, I would say about 35%. Lean over on your armrest, lean your head against your arm. This is allowing you to not be too comfortable, but comfortable enough to fall asleep. But you will also hear your alarm on your phone. Again, it is really important to not recline all the way back. It may be tempting, but when you do that, you're going to get too relaxed, and you're likely to not hear that alarm clock. I usually take my phone and I put it in the rear door, in that little hole in the door or whatever at the top where people usually rest their arm. I put it in there, and then I set my alarm clock so I can wake up, or I'll put it on a seat and I'll turn to the right, towards the middle console, and I'll go ahead and I'll take my nap and everything and whatnot. But just to keep on driving and everything and whatnot, you're gonna screw yourself. You only take a break during non-busy hours. During non-busy hours, that's when you want to take your break. But I remind you, you have to know your busy hours on the app and everything. So here on the app, when you swipe up a little bit where it actually says silver, when you click on that, you're able to see what the busy hours are for that day or that week. Another way of doing it is you can go up to the menu at the top left, and when you click on that, you're going to also click on your tier right here. And as you click on that, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and that's where you're going to click on learn more. When you click on learn more, it's going to show you where your busy hours are for the week. Now, generally, at least in my market, and whenever I'm driving to Michigan, because again, I'm in the Toledo, Ohio area, usually I only see 6 days a week that there are busy hours. And that's when Lyft is paying a little bit more money on rides, and you want to make sure that you are online during those particular hours so you can catch more bonuses and everything like that. So part of your 80 hours needs to be these hours right here, which are your prime hours. You want to make sure that you are online. You also have to look at that sometimes some hours you're not going to make that 25. So it's going to be a little bit less. So that's where working overtime and accepting a couple rides to catch that amount up is very important. So again, we came up with it's $25. Some hours you may make 30. Some hours you may make 40. And some hours you're going to make around 20 or less than 20. So please have a piece of paper and find out if you're, where you're at on your goal. Where you're at on your goal. So in 12 hours and you're making $25, you should be making $300 a day. All right. And again, that's where you know that you're on the border of hitting that goal for the week. Yeah, it would be nice to hit the ride challenges and everything like that and get that extra money. But the thing is that you have to be their puppet in order to get that money. You have to be Lyft's puppet, Uber's puppet, whoever you're driving for. You have to be their puppet to get that money. And the goal is to minimize how many miles you put on your car so that you can achieve this goal. Now, if you can make $2,000 in a week, I really suggest that you save about $1,000, and so every month you'll have $4,000. So if you have $4,000 every month that you are saving, and you save for 12 months, you would save $48,000. Now, the total amount that you would have made that particular year is $96,000. When you include bonuses and everything else, you should be making around about $110,000 to $120,000 and whatnot. I know you're probably thinking, bull crap, no way, and everything like that. That's why you need to cherry pick. You cherry pick, and you're more likely gonna do it. If you start getting all happy and saying, "Oh man, I ain't made $10 on a single ride. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drive I'm gonna take this trip and drive 14 miles. Well, that's going to be a problem, because where is that trip ending out if you're going to take that trip at 14 miles? I know for a fact that when they send me a 14-mile trip and I'm in the Toledo area, they're going to usually that trip is going to end up taking me out to Bowling Greens, Perrysburg, which is, Perrysburg never shows up on the app until I zoom in or whatever. But point is, it's going to take me to Bowling Greens, maybe Perrysburg, and there's no ride request. Now, today it is a Friday, so there is a very good chance that I know if you see my screen pop down, that was my son. I don't know why he text messaged me, I'm pregnant. No, he hasn't got any girl pregnant or whatever. But for me, I know that it's going to be slow if I'm in Bowling Greens. It's going to be slow if I go over into Perrysburg and everything like that. And if I take anybody over the border into Michigan, I mean, I'm going to have dead miles driving back into Toledo area, and I'm not trying to go further into Michigan and everything like that, because it's really going to be slow unless I go to either Romulus, which is more north west, or if I go to maybe Ypsilanti or Ann Arbor, where the college is or whatnot, or I just go up to the Detroit area. It's just too many miles away from home. It's more drivers in that market, and I'll have shorter distance pickups usually whenever I'm out there. But I'm trying to see if I can make my money here in Toledo instead of having to go back and forth between Michigan and Toledo. Plus, that affects, if I decide to try to shoot a move towards the ride challenges by going up to Michigan for a week or two, that's going to affect the ride challenges for the following month. So again, my main goal here was to show you, if you're going to set your goal, you need to make sure that you know exactly how much money you're trying to make, how many hours you're going to be online, and how much money you need to make per hour in order to achieve that particular goal. Now, as far as the bonus hours, definitely try to hit those bonus hours, because the bonus hours may make up for any you being behind maybe a few hours or whatnot and not making the money that you need to make. Now, in the Toledo area, I'm going to show you what it says online on the Lyft app. It says the drivers in Ohio is $13.95, $14.18 to $17.74 per hour is what drivers are making out here. My cherry picking, I'm normally making on average anywhere between minimum 22 at the most around $34 an hour. And that's book hours. We're not talking about total online hours and everything like that. And I always break down my hours at the end of the day whenever I am driving for Lyft. Another thing is if you want to make extra money, I would say accept the ride requests of those passengers who have lower ratings. Reason being is because 9 times out of 10, they got those ratings for tracking dirt inside of a driver's car, maybe scratching up some of the plastics or whatever the case may be, or eating inside the car and wasting things inside of the car. The reason why I say those people are good people to pick up is because here you damage and safety, and then you can report that issue that you have. You're going to do that by reporting damage, clicking on that, and request a cleaning fee. And it also tells you the amounts right here. $20 minor messes such as mud, dirt, fur, food, or drink residue on the vehicle seats. So residue on the vehicle seats. A lot of times you have people throwing stuff on your seat, and now you have, because you picked them up and they were outside, and they ended up having their bags on the ground. And they get in your car, instead of putting the stuff on the floor or asking to use the trunk, they put that stuff on your seat. Nobody wants to sit in that stuff. They don't know what it is or anything like that. You can report that, and that's an extra $20 for you. You have $40 moderate messes such as bio waste on the exterior or floorboards of the vehicle. So how do people get bio waste on the exterior of the vehicle? That's simply, you're picking up a drunk person and they're like, hold on, wait, and they're trying to piss by your car, and they end up peeing on your car and everything and whatnot, whether the door's open or closed or whatnot. Hey, I'm not going to freak out. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to take a picture real quick. So I have a picture of you urinating near my car, and I got piss on my car. And that's $40 right there. That's on them. $80, moderate messes such as bio waste, and large messes, large messes from food or spills on the vehicle's interior. So you have a passenger, just picked them up from McDonald's. They're being buttholes and they're eating in your car. You know that they're not supposed to be eating in the car. Only thing you can do is pray that they go ahead and try to wipe that grease on the seat. Pray that they go ahead and they drop stuff on there. What you're going to do on your dash cam, you want to take a picture of that screenshot, or if you're videotaping a different type of way or whatnot, show Lyft that they were eating inside of your car, and then show the grease spots or the fries on the floor or whatnot. get your money, $150 for bio waste and other damage to the vehicle and everything like that. So in that particular case, let's say if somebody pissed themselves in your car, which I've had a couple of people do that. Luckily, I detail cars, so I can extract the moisture after cleaning it and also get it dried out in about an hour and a half and whatnot. But again, you can also make money this particular way. Now, there may be some passengers watching this and like, oh man, that's messed up or whatever. No, it's messed up to get in somebody's car eating. This is not a city taxi. And Lyft doesn't own these vehicles and everything like that. This is people's personal vehicles. Whether they're doing this part-time or full-time, they did not sign up to have people eat meals inside of their car. And as far as people tracking dirt, yeah, they have to walk out to the vehicle or whatever. But don't walk on the grass. Don't track grass inside of our car. Don't track mud inside of our car. Yeah, it could be raining out, but you can walk over the concrete and you can minimize how much mud that you're going to be tracking in the car. And if you're at home, why not bring a towel out? Before you get in somebody's vehicle, wipe off your floor. Now you're thinking, well, why don't y'all have rubber mats and stuff? That's another expensive cost to us. But we're still going to have to spray down those mats and go into a car wash. You're at least looking at $2.50 if you can find one to spray down the mats and clean those off. And then you got to dry them off and wait till they dry and everything like that. What, we're supposed to bring towels and stuff or whatnot? Come on, now you're asking for way too much that we shouldn't have to do when you can simply, I mean, there's so many different ways you can do it. You can tie a bag around your feet and walk over to the car and then take the bag off and discard the bag or whatnot instead of tracking dirt and mud into it. So what I'm basically saying is that while you saying drivers should do this or could do that, we can still say, well, you can also do this and do that and everything like that. Because for the most part, the bag over the feet when you're walking through mud or rain or whatever, that is more convenient than the driver happening to drive around and look for a car wash to rinse those mats off and everything like that or whatever. Because if we wipe it off, it's just going to smear the mud and everything and whatnot. But point is that drivers, you can also go ahead and file for those cleaning fees and everything and whatnot. So you can hit request cleaning fee and it tells you how to go about doing it and everything and whatnot. So you can request that cleaning fee for the damage done to the vehicle. So you can go back to this page and you can say I have a different issue, and then you can go to other, and then you can go to contact us, and then you can send a message. They're going to ask you to send pictures of the mess and everything like that. So once you start that conversation right here, like I'm starting the conversation, see how at the bottom right there it actually has a little camera. So you can go ahead and click the camera, and then you can take new photo or whatnot. You can either take a new photo or you can upload photos so that the representative can see what the issue is, and then they'll disperse that fee to you. Now, if it's bio waste, they're going to ask you, well, how does it smell? Because if it's just a wet spot on the car, they're going to want to know, well, how does it smell? Okay, they want to know if the person pooped in the seats or whether it was pee. One thing that Lyft isn't concerned about is that if somebody pees in the seat, it's not going to just be surface pee. It's going to soak into the interior's fabric, and it's going to get into the cushion. So that stuff has to be extracted out, which you have to go to a detailer. And detailers generally charge you more money when there's bio waste and everything and whatnot. So it ends up actually costing you some money on top of it, but Lyft is going to charge that $80 or $100 and something to the passenger. So the whole point of that rant was to say that you also can make some additional money that way. If you are taking some of those passengers who have low ratings, yeah, I guarantee you those are the ones that have disrespected drivers' cars, but most of them are just late for coming out at the pickup. Before you start any driving, make sure you take a picture of your back seat. You want to take a picture of your back seat so that you can see, so that you can show Lyft, hey, when I first started off today, this was my car, and it's showing that it's clean. Now at this point, because of this passenger that put mud in my car, this is how it actually looks. I usually write down the date on my on a piece of paper, and I put it on the back seat, and then I take a picture showing that my car was clean. And I do that a couple of times a day, and everything and whatnot. I wish we knew whenever passengers would say the driver's car was dirty, because if I did know that, I could submit pictures to Lyft, but Lyft doesn't want to tell us when passengers have said that and everything like that, so we can debunk or anything that somebody says. So again, just keep a clean car, and then you can also debate you can also appeal the stuff like that by saying, well, what was the passenger? What was theirs? Wait a minute. What is that saying? Oh, that -80 that it's saying right there, that was paid out to me yesterday. The first ride that I did. Let me see. I think I scrolled down a little bit too far. Here it is right here. First ride that I did yesterday, the person ended up damaging my vehicle, and I ended up getting $80 from that. Just to show, these were the pictures of my vehicle. My vehicle was clean, and as I scroll, you'll get to see what the damage is. That right there, okay, you can see right there as you zoom in, that is a tampon, and you can see little pieces of hair that is on that tampon and everything. And when I flipped it over, okay, yeah, that was a bit on a disgusting end. Sorry, that's food. Got some food and everything like that. So I had to report that particular issue, and I got $80 off of that and everything. So yesterday wasn't all that good of a day when it comes down to what I made, because it says 119, but if you think about the $80 that I had made yesterday and everything, then the total amount that I made was actually like around 139 or whatever, and that's with 18 rides. So yesterday was not all that good, but for 6 hours and making $219 or whatnot, then that's fine. But when I just think about 18 rides and what I actually made, that's 139, and divide that by 18, so that's an average of $7.72 per ride. Not what I made per ride, but that's the average of what I made per ride. So no, I was not happy to give that many rides and only make $139. So I ended the day off good because of the 80, but I kind of feel like they kind of shafted me a bit on what I really what I really did. I probably would have did better, but I think that maybe they didn't charge the person $80. They just paid for it themselves and just offered me less money on some of the trips. So the actual amount that I made was around $23.16 per hour if we look at online time. Okay, so if we actually look at book time, the book time probably would have been around let's just say half the time. Then I was making $46.33. As far as when passengers are inside my car, we don't get paid to pick people up. But all in all, hopefully it was able to help people learn how to estimate, how to figure out, well, how do I go about making $2,000 in a week? The first thing you do is you have to figure out how much money you need to make on an hourly basis. Okay, so, and you need to pay attention to where you're driving, and now you know exactly how many trips you need to make inside of that week, how many hours you need to be online and everything like that. I don't feel like the videos that I've seen on YouTube has ever shown people how they can make $2,000 in a week. Nobody's ever broke it down to what you really need to do, how long you need to be online. They usually show that they made $2,000 in a week, and this is how many hours and how many rides that they did and all of this stuff or whatever. But nobody really has explained how you actually will make the $2,000 in a week. What are the methods to doing it? Now, if you're in a really slow market, and like I used to live in Mansfield, Ohio, when I first started doing this, hardly got any ride requests. Weekend was all right, but during the week, I mean, if I spent 4 or 5 hours online, I probably only received about 2 or 3 rides in that period of time, in the whole period of time. And so it wasn't worth it, because it wasn't a lot of rides. But if you are in a busier market where you're receiving 3, maybe even 8 ride requests because you're a cherry picker, so you're online and you notice that in an hour you're going to get 8, maybe 10 rides to choose from, then yeah, you can actually be a little bit more on a cherry picking end. But if you're in a slower area, I'm sorry, if you're in a slower market, I don't think it's really any chances for you to hit the 2,000 in a week. You have to be in a market where it's busy, and you also have to be able to work during the busy hours. So that's going to make up for hours where you didn't hit the 25 or you didn't hit $30 or whatnot and everything. So if you're trying to stay online and trying to get bonuses on every last one of your trips and everything like that, they're not going to send you trips as often as you want during non-busy hours. And last but not least, this preferred boost right here, this shows you how much control Lyft and Uber has. This shows you how much control Lyft and Uber has, because they're telling you you'll get more rides because passengers can choose to ride more often with preferred drivers. Now, again, that's bullcrap, and I wish somebody was able to sue them on that, because this is the customer app. Do you see anything that says preferred driver? Do you see anything that says preferred driver? Let me just click this in real quick. Let's see if anything says preferred driver here. I don't see anything here. As I scroll up, scroll down, I don't see nothing where I can select a preferred driver anywhere on the app. Nowhere. There's nowhere where I can select a preferred driver. I can go up here. There's no options for where I can select a preferred, select a driver. None of that. None whatsoever. So again, preferred driver, only thing that means is that you might receive more ride requests than usual. But you know what? When it's busy, that's not going to matter. This only works if it's not busy out. So this is no different than priority mode. Remember, they used to have priority mode. Well, I don't know if priority mode exists in all other markets, but I know that in my market, priority mode is not offered. When I would drive in Michigan, it was offered, but only in certain areas, like the Detroit area. But if I went to somewhere like I think maybe Ann Arbor or Auburn Hills or something, Auburn Hills wouldn't have preferred, didn't have the preferred option. Everything, only certain places in the state had preferred where it was mainly busy and everything. So this right here, like I said, crap. I don't care about it or none of that. It's not going to get me more rides. They can say whatever they want to. It's just so that you will pay more attention to making sure that you're driving smoother, you're keeping safety flags down, your cancellation stays down, and your acceptance rate, what they love the most. They want that acceptance rate to stay up, because it means that you're losing money, and it means that they're making money as long as you're accepting more and more rides. Last but not least, I've said this before in other videos, and I'm sorry I keep saying last but not least, but your acceptance rate, I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter. You can have a 1% acceptance rate, and it's not going to mean you're going to get more rides. It also doesn't mean you're going to be deactivated. You can only be deactivated for having a high cancellation rate, a low rating, safety flags, or service. That's it. You will not be deactivated for having a low acceptance rate. That stuff doesn't matter. The only reason why they have that is so that you know how many rides you're accepting out of the last 100 rides that they've actually sent to you. Your acceptance rate will be higher if you're only driving during busy hours or when there's bonuses, because you're going to accept more rides. But outside of busy hours and bonuses, and they're trying to pay standard amount, which doesn't make any sense. You're driving 8 miles to pick up somebody, you're taking them 3 miles and making $3, and everything. It just doesn't make any sense. Who's going to put 11 miles on their car for $3? Who's going to put 12 miles or 13 miles on their car for $3? It doesn't make any sense. Usually if you're that many miles away from people, instead of it saying $3, it'll actually say like $5, maybe even $6. But the thing is what's the point? What's the point of even doing it? And the best thing you can do, like in my market particularly, I can look at the passenger app and they will show me drivers. They will show me drivers that are in the area, not just in the Toledo area. They're not going to show me drivers that are just here. They're going to show me drivers that are, updated on the thing. I hate when it does that when I'm trying to, make a point or whatnot. This in the Toledo area, they will show you drivers that are Toledo drivers that are up in the Ohio, Michigan area, all the way down to Bowling Greens. It's a bigger area of drivers that they're going to show you, those 8 drivers. It's a bigger area than probably any other market. And the reason being is because we're expected to pick up and drop off in the Toledo area all the way down to Lima. All the way down to Lima. And Lima is like probably somewhere, I think, over here or whatnot. That is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It could be up there. I forgot where Lima is. All I know is that it's over a half hour away from Toledo and everything. So again, when you're doing this, please pay close attention to where you're driving and where the passenger is going, because it's just going to increase your pickup distance between passengers and it's going to hurt your weekly goal. And like I said, I'm not going to say I'm the highest paid driver out here because of my cherry picking, because I don't know everybody that's out here. All I do know is that I've developed a method where my book hours are going to be more time on my book hours than my pickup hours. And my book time, I'm going to be making anywhere over $20 to over $30 is what I'm going to be making on my book time, because I'm not going to just sit around and just take any old thing that they want me to take. I'm done with that. I used to do that when I started doing this, but then I found out that the acceptance rate doesn't matter. And ever since then, I've been overly cherry picking. Does that mean I'm going to get less rides? I don't think I'm getting less rides. Lyft is desperate. No matter where you go, they're offering, especially when you see on the app and they're showing that in your market, okay, that if you refer a driver, you can make an extra $250 or $300. Okay, they're not hurting that bad for drivers. But when you see those bonuses that are $1,200 or $1,700, if they do X amount of rides in 30 days or 90 days or whatever, you know that they are hurting for drivers, because they've deactivated drivers. Drivers are not getting online that much. All kinds of bad situations are happening. Last but not least, I wanted to put this towards the end of the video, and sorry I said it again, but I want to put this towards the end of the video. Look up on YouTube or look it up on Google, but look up the what they call it, the roadside assistance. Look that up, because if you have power tools to change a tire, or you have a jump pack and everything, it's about to be wintertime. A lot of people are going to wake up and their car is going to be dead and they're going to be trying to get a jump. You're going to make good money just going to jump somebody's car or to change a flat tire and everything like that. You can make good money doing that, and you can work out of a sedan and everything. If you have a generator, a mobilized generator and everything like that, man, great. You could put that in there and it'll help you change the tire a lot faster, because you can hook up a power tool to it and, you know what I'm saying, take off a bolt, boom, hit that and change the tire in no freaking time and keep it moving. But a lot of people during the winter time, depending on how cold it is, they're going to need those jump. I don't recommend jumping from your car, but jump from a battery pack or whatever that you have, a little mobilized pack, jump from that. So you can have a startup on that You don't have to have the power tools. If you just have a jack, any type of jack or whatever, hydraulic jack would be better because you want to move fast or whatnot. But like I said, you can go ahead and you can do that. A lot of people, they don't have a spare tire, or they don't want to put a spare tire on. They want to put an actual tire on. So you would take off the old tire, you put that in your car, you'll take it to a tire shop, have them change the tire, then you'll bring it back. I've seen guys do that, and that's one of the things that I'm thinking about doing. So mobile detailing, then also that on top of it. But I'm trying to cut out this whole Lyft stuff. I'm not making nearly enough money. I want enough money to put my kids through school. I have 2 kids. I always wanted to have 4, but I have 2 kids, and I don't see myself having any more. If I do have more, I have to really be financially stable, because right now I'm not taking away from my 2 kids and have other kids, and I can't even afford to put both of my kids through college right now. So, and I have 4 years to get my son situated before he's ready to go to college. And I've already told him either college or a trade. If you want to know you're making your dad proud, it's going to be college, or it's going to be learning a trade, or you have figured out something that you can start a business. But I prefer you to work with somebody for at least 2 years before you go off and you start your own business. But you're not looking to learn the things that are going to make you, the things that they did to make them successful. No, you want to learn everything that they did that made them fail at first. Don't worry about what they did to become successful. Only know and learn about the things that made them fail at first, until they found their own pattern, and it grew their business and everything. That way you don't make the same mistakes, because you can learn everything somebody did. When you go to tweak it to your own personality and how you want to run your business starts to fall, because you're doing the things that made that guy almost lose his business, because you're trying to modify things the way you want. Now you're doing the wrong things because you never learned from the guy what paths he went down that made his business a more go down the wrong roads, basically. But anyway, it's a pretty long video. Hopefully I've taught people a little bit about how to the best method as far as how to make money on these apps and everything like that. And hopefully you succeed at what you're trying to accomplish. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy your day. Goodbye.